Welcome back to Echoed Stories. Get comfortable, it's story time, let's dive in.
The warehouse smells like diesel fumes and stale coffee. The conveyor belt is screaming, a high-pitched metal screech that drills right into your skull. I'm sorting my packages, throwing boxes onto shelves, playing Tetris with cardboard inside my step van. Then I see it. Stop 150, 404 Oak Lane. I groan loudly. Old Man Miller, a guy who has been driving since maps were made of paper, looks over from the next truck. He sees my face. He knows that look. "You got the librarian today?" he asks, grinning through his gray beard. "Mr. Sterling," I correct him. "And yeah, he's on the manifest." Miller laughs a dry, hacking laugh. "Good luck, kid. That guy reported me last Christmas. Said my boots crunched too loudly on the snow. I'm not joking. He actually sent a video clip to corporate of me walking to his door, claiming I was stomping like a dinosaur." I shook my head, scanning the box. He reported me last week for idling, said the vibration of the engine was disturbing his feng shui or something. Today, I don't know, maybe I'll just try to levitate to his door. Miller spat on the concrete floor. "Careful, if you levitate, he'll report you for blocking the sun." We both laughed, but it wasn't really funny. It was that tired laugh people do when they know they can't change anything. Let me tell you something about the inside of a delivery step van in July. Once you leave that warehouse, it is not a vehicle. It is a microwave on wheels. The back cargo area is basically a tin oven baking in the sun. And the front cab isn't much better. We don't have air conditioning. We have a loud metal fan that just blows hot dust into your eyes. And we have the open door. That's it. I've been driving this route for 3 years now. I know every pothole, every loose dog, and every customer who orders heavy cases of water to their third-floor apartment. But mostly, I know the notes. Every driver knows the notes. When you scan a package, a little message pops up on your scanner gun. Usually, it's helpful stuff. Gate code is 1234, or leave behind the planter. But sometimes, you get the novels, the angry, all-caps manifestos written by people who think we are personally trying to ruin their lives. And then, there is Mr. Sterling. Mr. Sterling lives in one of those neighborhoods where the grass is cut with scissors and the homeowners association measures your mailbox with a ruler. He has a long driveway, a big house, and a very, very short temper. I first met Mr. Sterling, digitally speaking, about 6 months ago. I drove up to his house, put his package on the porch, and rang the doorbell. You know, standard procedure. I walked back to my truck before I could even buckle my seatbelt. My dispatcher called me. "Hey, did you just deliver to 404 Oak Lane?" I said yes. "Well, the guy just called the hotline. He's screaming. Apparently, you woke up his baby, and his dogs went crazy. He wants you written up for unprofessional conduct." I was stunned. I looked at the delivery notes on my scanner. It was blank. No instructions. How was I supposed to know? Since that day, Mr. Sterling updated his delivery profile, and he didn't hold back. Now, every time I scan a package for his address, my screen lights up with a block of text that looks like a ransom note. "Absolutely no knocking, no doorbells, do not slam your truck door, do not walk on the grass. If you make any noise, I will report you immediately. Just leave the package and leave. I have cameras, I am watching." Charming, right? So, for the last 6 months, I have treated his house like a bomb disposal site. I turn off my engine at the bottom of the driveway. I walk up silently. I place the box down like it's made of glass. I take the photo. I leave. I don't breathe until I'm back in the truck, and he still reports me. Last week, he filed a complaint because my truck squeaked when I braked near his property. My manager actually pulled me aside and told me to try to be quieter. Quieter? In a 5-ton diesel truck? Okay, but today the universe decided to hand me a gift. A beautiful, wrapped in red tape gift. It's Friday. It is 95 degrees out. My uniform is sticking to my back. I am dehydrated, tired, and I just want to go home. I look at my itinerary. Stop number 150. Mr. Sterling. I pull up to the curb. I sigh. I grab his package from the shelf. I paused. The package felt different. It wasn't an Amazon box. It wasn't a bag of clothes. It was a flat, sleek box from a high-end electronics company, a laptop, or maybe a specialized monitor, expensive stuff. And right there, On the label, and flashing on my scanner screen in bright orange letters, was the magic phrase, "Adult signature required. Recipient must be present." I stared at the scanner. I blinked. I read it again now. You have to understand the rules. These are hard rules. If a package requires a signature, I cannot leave it. I physically cannot complete the stop in my scanner without someone scribbling their name on the screen. If I leave it, I get fired, period. But Mr. Sterling's note, which is also on the screen, says, "No knocking, no doorbells. If you make noise, I will report you." So, I have a dilemma. Option A, I knock. He answers. He screams at me for knocking. He probably reports me again for disobeying instructions. Option B, I follow his instructions perfectly. I looked at the house. The blinds were drawn. It was dead silent. I could see the little blue light of his Ring doorbell camera pulsing. He was definitely monitoring. I wiped the sweat from my forehead, adjusted my hat, and walked up the driveway. I didn't turn off the truck this time. I left it idling at the curb, a nice, steady diesel rumble, far enough away to be legal, but loud enough to be annoying. I walked up the path to the front door. I stepped onto the porch. I stood directly in front of the camera. I held the package up to the lens, just so the camera could read the label. I wanted him to see what it was. I wanted him to see that shiny new gadget he's been waiting for. Then, I lowered the package. I stood there. I did not knock. I did not ring the bell. I checked my watch. 2:14 p.m. I decided to give him the standard grace period. When we need a signature, we are supposed to wait a reasonable amount of time before giving up. Usually, that's about a minute or two, so I waited. It was actually kind of meditative. The heat was shimmering off the porch railing. A fly buzzed around my head somewhere in the distance. A lawnmower was running. But at Mr. Sterling's house, silence, absolute silence. I imagined him inside. Is he in a meeting? Is he napping? Is he watching me on his phone right now? Wondering why I'm just standing there like a statue. If he's watching, he sees a delivery driver following his instructions. He said no knocking. So, I am not knocking. 30 seconds passed. I shifted my weight. I looked at the flowers in his planter, plastic figures. 45 seconds. I looked at the scanner again. The signature required prompt was still blinking. It was taunting me. Come on, it whispered. Just tap the screen. Mark it undeliverable. Not yet. I want to be thorough. 1 minute passed. I cleared my throat, not too loudly, just enough to be a human presence. Nothing. 1 minute and 30 seconds. This is longer than I wait for people who actually like me. I looked right into the camera lens again. I put on my best confused and helpless face. I shrugged my shoulders at the camera, as if to say, I don't know what to do, buddy. You made the rules. 2 minutes. Time called. I slowly, deliberately reached into my back pocket. I pulled out the dreaded info notice, the sticky note of doom. I clicked my pen. I checked the box that says, "Sorry, we missed you." I checked the box that says signature required. And then, on the blank lines at the bottom, I wrote my masterpiece. Package requires in-person signature per your permanent delivery notes. I did not knock or ring to avoid disturbing you. Will reattempt on next business day. I peeled the sticker off. I stuck it right in the center of his glass storm door. You couldn't miss it. It was a bright yellow flag of malicious compliance. I turned around. I walked back down the driveway. I didn't run. I strolled. I enjoyed the sunshine. I got back to the truck. I hopped into the driver's seat. I scanned the package as business closed/customer unavailable. As I was releasing the parking brake, I saw it. The front door flew open. Mr. Sterling burst out onto the porch. He was wearing pajama pants and a t-shirt. He looked frantic. He looked at the door, saw the sticker, ripped it off, and then looked at my truck. He started waving his arms over his head. He was yelling something. I couldn't hear him, obviously, because my windows were up and the engine was roaring. He started running down the driveway toward me, barefoot on the hot asphalt. Ouch, now, technically, if a customer catches us before we leave, we can stop and give them the package, technically. But I checked my mirrors. I was already in gear. My blinker was on. I was technically back in traffic. To stop now would be unsafe. It would impede the flow of the neighborhood. I pulled away. I watched him in my side mirror. He reached the end of his driveway just as I turned the corner. He threw his hands up in the air. He looked like a castaway watching the rescue boat leave. I felt a cold breeze. which was weird, because I don't have AC, but it felt cool, it felt like justice. About 15 minutes later, my device pinged, message from dispatch. Driver, call me ASAP. I pulled into a gas station and called the desk. Hey, I said, what's up? I have a guy on the other line, the dispatcher said. He sounded tired. Mr. Sterling, he is absolutely losing his mind. He says you drove up, stood on his porch for 2 minutes, didn't knock, put a note on his door, and left. He says he was sitting in the living room the whole time. I know, I said calmly. I followed his instructions. What instructions? Pull up his profile, I said. Read the notes, the all-caps part. I heard the typing on the other end, then silence. Oh, the dispatcher said. Oh, wow, yeah, I continued. He threatened to report me if I knocked or rang the bell. The package required a signature. I couldn't get a signature without knocking. I wasn't going to violate his direct orders and get written up again, so I waited to see if he would come out. He didn't, so I left. The dispatcher let out a short laugh. He's screaming that it's urgent. He needs it for work this weekend. He wants you to turn around and go back. I can't, I said. I'm 5 miles away now. I have perishable packages on board if I turn back. I'll be late for the business commit times. You know the policy, no backtracking. Yeah, I know, the dispatcher sighed. Okay, I'll tell him. Tell him what? I asked, knowing the answer. I'll tell him since it's Friday, and we don't do signature deliveries on weekends in this area. He can pick it up at the main hub on Monday morning. The hub is 40 miles from his house, I added helpfully. I know, the dispatcher said. Good job following safety protocols. Driver, carry on. I hung up. I put the truck back in drive. I imagined Mr. Sterling sitting in his big house with his silent doorbell and his sleeping baby and his lack of a laptop. Sometimes, just sometimes, the customer gets exactly what they asked for and nothing more.